Portugal has a habit of producing football royalty. For decades, icons like Eusebio have captivated the world, setting scoring records and defining entire eras of the sport. But despite fielding some of the most talented rosters in history, there is one obvious gap in their trophy cabinet. Among the absolute elite footballing nations heading into the 2026 World Cup, they are the only ones yet to lift this trophy. That dynamic began to shift in 2023 with the arrival of head coach Roberto Martinez. He looked at the team's traditional, rigid, counter-attacking style and systematically tore it down. This chart shows exactly what he built in its place, a possession-dominant machine. Under Martinez, Portugal maintains a staggering 67% possession during qualifiers, pushing their scoring rate up to 2.6 goals per game, a surge in offensive output that recently won them the Nations League title. On paper, this is the most complete tactical system in Portuguese history. But a modern possession system is a highly sensitive machine, and right now there is a very large gear threatening to jam the entire mechanism. To finally win the World Cup, Portugal has to solve a major friction point. They have to figure out how to operate a fluid, high-intensity offense while accommodating the intense gravitational pull of their 41-year-old icon, Cristiano Ronaldo. The core of Martinez's strategy relies on what we can call a midfield monopoly. It's a three-man unit engineered to dictate the terms of the match by starving opponents of the ball. That control starts with Vitinha. He acts as the team's essential metronome, circulating passes with extreme precision and deciding exactly when to speed the game up or when to put it to sleep. This map visualizes the climate risk at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, where Portugal plays Colombia. It shows a 95% probability of performance-impairing heat. In brutal conditions like these, Vitinha's ability to slow the tempo and let the ball do the running is a critical survival tool. Operating alongside him is João Neves. If Vitinha is the brain, Neves is the lungs. He provides the relentless physical coverage and ball-winning grit required to stop counterattacks before they can even start. Because Neves and Vitinha handle the defensive dirty work, Bruno Fernandes is unshackled. He doesn't have to drop deep to collect the ball. Instead, he can drift high up the pitch, looking for the perfect pocket of space to execute a high-risk killer pass. Together, this trio gives Portugal the tactical blueprint to outpossess and dismantle anyone in the world. But that engine room only functions if the players around them maintain perfect spatial discipline. When Portugal has the ball, Martinez typically deploys a 3-2-2-3 offensive shape. In this setup, the wide players are strictly instructed to hug the touchlines, physically stretching the opposing defense as far apart as possible. By stretching the defense horizontally, tiny gaps open up between the defenders. In modern football, these pockets are called half spaces. They are precisely engineered zones designed for creators like Fernandes to receive the ball and instantly threaten the goal. Here is where the machinery jams. Cristiano Ronaldo has a natural instinct to involve himself in the play by dropping deep to receive the ball. When he does this, he physically occupies the exact same half spaces Fernandes is trying to use, crowding the area and killing the creative angle. The disruption also bleeds into their defense. A team that dominates possession protects itself by pressing the opponent the exact second they lose the ball. The front line has to hunt aggressively to stop forward passes. If an aging forward line stays static instead of triggering the press, the opponent's center backs have time to launch the ball forward. They can bypass the initial wave entirely, exposing Portugal's midfield to rapid counterattacks right down the center of the pitch. It creates a massive tactical paradox. By accommodating a traditional, space-occupying superstar, Portugal unintentionally neutralizes the very structure that makes their midfield so dangerous. Navigating this tournament will require Roberto Martinez to exercise cold, pragmatic management. When they face elite opponents in the knockout rounds, he has to prioritize the mechanics of his system over the historical status of his players. The tactical solution requires a different profile up front, someone like Diogo Jota, who plays a far more selfless, dynamic role. Instead of dropping deep, a forward like Jota makes aggressive, vertical sprints behind the opposing defense. To avoid getting beaten, defenders must retreat. This stretches the pitch vertically, reopening critical half spaces and giving Bruno Fernandes the wide-open acres needed to orchestrate the attack. This is what makes the 2026 squad formidable. They don't have to wait and hope for a moment of individual magic to survive a tough match. Instead, They have the tactical depth to actively out-engineer any defensive block or climate threat they encounter. If Martinez balances his undeniable midfield dominance with the calculated deployment of his attackers, Portugal finally has the ultimate formula to lift the World Cup.